Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable, and we're going to be dipping our tea bags back into the cup of the end of why I broke up with Mr. NoHeart. Because this, in my opinion, terrible human being, he showed himself. He showed himself. But then he did not realize that I was being patient and I was still fighting the mental health of the negativity that I had gone through all of my life. And at first I was scared, but then I was happy and excited to be rid of our relationship. So, okay, I finished off with after my surgery, the doctor told me how complicated my surgery was and how now doctors are thinking there's something else that caused this. And the important part of this is all of my life, doctors told at first my mother, but then when I got older, me, that the pain was in my head. I was making it up. I was a liar. And so the trauma of that to the point where, hold up. So all of these years that I was called a liar, all of these years I was spanked and harmed and traumatized, all of these years where people didn't want anything to do with me because of the way I walked, or if I tripped over my feet, that would be embarrassing to them. And jobs didn't want me until, oh, why don't you go get your legs fixed and then come back? You have an amazing resume. We would love you, but we can't hire you while you walk like that. Yeah, jobs say that. Jobs say that. So, anyway, I'm calling him throughout the process, telling him about, like, if you knew all of the times I had to go in for blood work, MRIs, one MRI after another MRI, and then there were other tests with different mechanisms and things like that. And he never really cared. And it's still cold outside. It's still the winter time. And I'm asking him, it's like, okay, since now it's like it's not just surgery, get better and get to your house. Now I have to be diagnosed. Now I need my blanket, so while I work on my computer or while I'm trying to get better in, like, or either laying down or whatever, it would be nice for me to have my blanket. I paid for my property. The only reason you have it is because you kept hogging the comforter I bought him for Christmas years ago. But he was like, "No, you'll get better, don't worry." And I'm like, "But that's my property. I asked you. I asked you to drop it off like right before Christmas and you refused. Now that I'm going to be like like out, like, or during this situation even longer, now that I'm going to be down and out, and yeah, that's what I was thinking, saying down and out even longer. It's like it would, I don't know, it's like if you were dating somebody and, like, you were in a relationship and you thought it was a good relationship, if you asked for a piece of your property back, you would expect them to be like, "Oh yeah, I'll drop it off," or "Yeah, today's not a good day, but I can drop it off later off this week," or something. But no, he told me that it's like once I get better, or I can use that as a goal, I can use that to motivate myself to get better. Yeah, he told me I could use that as a motivation or motivator to in order to get better. Like, I mean, if that's not gaslighting, what is that? And so I'm going through all these tests. Some of these tests are painful. And then I find out more things about my body and myself and everything. And then finally, like, it was about a year. Yeah, because, yeah, about a year, like, Well, you don't really care about exactly how long, but it was around a year after my surgery that we found out what my diagnosis was. And I don't know, it's really, really crazy because I needed him. He was supposed to, like, if I'm in a relationship with you for 7 years and you tell me you will never marry again because your ex-wife blah blah blah, but now I know it was his fault, not her fault. Yeah, she cheated on him at the end, but if he treated her like he treated me, even though she's a racist bigot, his ex-wife is the same woman who said once 45 gets into office, she was gonna buy me and whip me until I die. Yeah, that woman. It's like, it's like, hey, she cheated on you. Okay, I don't feel bad anymore because seeing how badly he treated me, I don't know. It's like I wish I had more empathy, but it's like you say that you're not going to marry again, but you want to be with me forever. You want to you don't want to marry me, but you want me to be in a relationship like we're married. But then my mom dies and you refuse to go. I have major surgery and you refuse to go, you refuse to call, you refuse to text. And then I have to start going to physical therapy, different treatments, different tests. You never had my back called or checked up on me or text me at all whatsoever. But so, yeah, the clock was ticking. I was just like, because even near the end, I'm like, I'm checking things off, like, okay. Because sometimes he would say, people don't even have reasons, people don't even have excuses. Oh, I have a list of reasons why I'm never going to want anything else to do with you. Okay, so anyways, like we kind of talk, like, because I tried calling him and he kind of talks to me, but not really. Or he would kind of listen, but then he doesn't tell me he doesn't have time to talk to me. And so he did that 3 days in a row where he ignored me, like, because I've had so many men tell me, listen to when I talk because I don't like repeating myself. Well, there were times where I had to repeat myself 3 times over and over and over again. And this happened day after day in the same week. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave him alone for about a week. So at first it was only a week. And when I called him at the end of the week or after 7 days, it was like in between 5 to 7 days, I think, something like that. He was doing the same thing again. So I'm like, okay. And oh, I almost forgot, like, I forgot to add this to my list of reasons. But around Super Bowl, well, on Super Bowl, I invited him. He refused. He said no. And I'm just like, okay, so when are you going to come over? When are you ever gonna, like, every time I try to invite you over to meet my parents, now you will never meet my mother. You'd even have the empathy to come to my mother's funeral. So now you refuse to come meet my father. You love the Super Bowl, you love football, but you still, and normally it's like he doesn't want to pay for the games. He looks them up or he finds some kind of cheap way to get them off of YouTube normally or some network. That's how he does it. And it's like I invited him and I was like, yeah, I'll give my dad a little bit more money for food so that there'll be enough food for you, but it won't be out of his pocket because yeah, he would have mentioned that. But yeah, I had everything planned so that there would be enough if he refused. And so he saw, I mean, he knew I was upset already, but he would only do things until he knew I had enough. And then all of a sudden, oh, okay, well, let's figure this out. Let's do something. So what he decided to do was tell me that he was going to come over to my house on a day where he didn't have his daughters, or on a Saturday he didn't have his daughters. And I'm like, oh, okay, very cool. I was kind of excited. And so I told my dad and everything, and I know some of his favorite snacks, so I ordered some like spicy foods and spicy snacks or whatever, so that it's like I thought we could play board games, watch some anime, catch up or whatever. But then that Saturday came, and right around 11 or noon, in between that time, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna contact him and see what time he'll be ready to come over. He doesn't answer. And so then 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock passes, still no call back. This man, like, okay, if you're gonna date a smart woman, be careful when you date a smart woman. I'm not saying I'm intelligent or the brightest person, because I mean, I have a learning disability, so, but I've learned to deal with it. I've learned to be able to get my 3 degrees and 3 certifications with my learning disability. And one was I had to be more creative with how I memorize things and how I study things. And so, and then on top of that, I'm really creative anyway. So, guys, and women, because there's sometimes, the women are no good, but be careful when you date somebody who is very creative and smart, because while we were dating and I would go over to his house, again, he loves video games. So he wanted me to create an account on Steam. And so I'm like, okay, I'll create it. And we sometimes played games on it together. And, well, we were friends on Steam. And when you're friends, that means you can log on Steam, and it will tell you what the other person is playing and when they're playing. So I decided I'm going to get on there and I'm going to see if he's on, what he's doing. But I think I told majority of the story in another episode. So basically, you guys already know what happened. And you already know around 11, in between 11 and midnight, 11 and midnight, he texts me. Doesn't message me or call me at any other time of the day. Doesn't call to let me know or even pretend, oh, something came up. I'm so sorry. Can we postpone? No, he literally had me waiting that entire. But it's like, I mean, I was still working on my novel. I was still watching anime. I was still doing my physical therapy, because I'm not going to let some loser boy try to stop me from what I want. And that's another thing. It's like some of these loser men, they think that just because they gave up on life and they don't know how to do anything, that they're going to slow a woman down. He tried, like, for a while, he tried that. And that's why I'm about to get to the novel in a minute. And that's why this might be a 2, 3, or 4 episode piece, because there's so many things that happen at the end that officially ended the relationship. But yeah, he texted me letting me know that, oh, it's too late now. It's too late now. I can't come over now. No, duh. It's like he's going to say that around 11 and midnight. I can't come over now. It's too late. So he played me again, but he didn't realize that's the last time he was going to play me. But I was going to see what happens with the phone calls. I was going to see if he's going to get himself together. So I called him the next 2 or 3 days, and it was still the same thing. So I was like, okay. Oh, well, before I get to the end, with my novel, I wrote the first draft of it within 3 or 4 months, and I was so excited. And it's the novel that you guys are going to be reading, but now that one novel has turned into three, and now it's going to be a full on series. So, yeah, it's like at first I was kind of embarrassed. I'm like, oh, it's taking me so long to write one novel. And then I realized, no, I literally broke it up and created three books out of this one. So I have to give my and a lot of people who, oh, anybody can write a book. I can write a book. It's like it's no big deal. Like, but then I never see them write that book, or I never see them accomplish any of their goals or dreams, or they keep telling everybody else they're too old to do A, B, and C. Yeah. So I finally finish well, yeah, 3 or 4 months I finished the rough draft, and I'm so happy, I'm so excited. And so I at like this is while I'm still like needing I need a walker or a cane to walk or whatever. I'm in so much pain, so I can't describe the pain. And it wasn't until after hmm, about 2 years after my surgery, I was still having the shadow pains. I think that's what you call it, when you your brain is still telling you it hurts and you still remember how badly it hurt. I still have them today, but not nearly as now I can just shrug it off and keep going. But the pain was so bad that for a little over 2 years, it's like I would still be in fear of getting up, of walking and things. That's how much pain I was in. And so, anyway, I finished my rough draft and everything, and I'm excited. And I tell him, and I was like, "Do you want to read it?" And he was like, "Oh, no, maybe later, whatever." And he shrugs me off. But anyway, his oldest daughter reads a couple chapters and she comes back, "This is really good." It's like, wow. It's like, I didn't expect it to be like this. And I'm like, "Thank you." And she was like, "You're talented." And so, anyway, she gave me props and stuff like that. And another one of another person that I know read parts of it. And they're just like, "Yeah, I hope you publish this. This is really cool." And especially disability representation, that, yeah, we need that. And so, over the next couple weeks before I couldn't walk anymore, yeah, because I wrote the novel literally about a month or a month and a half before I couldn't walk anymore, or at least for almost 3 months. And I asked him to read it again, and he was like, no, I'm not going to read it unless you actually publish it. Oh, really? Okay, so so when I got the professor position, that was nothing. Me having my degrees, I only got my degrees because I'm black. And I only got my certifications because I'm black. I'm everything that I've accomplished in my life, I didn't deserve. That's what his family, that's what he thinks. That's what a lot of society thinks. But then when I work hard and accomplish things, even though I put my effort, my time, my energy, my education into it, it doesn't matter. So all of a sudden, I finish something on my own with my own efforts. But no, it's not published, so it doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, all right. So now, fast back, going back to, okay, when he ditched me from coming over, I called him a couple more times or whatever, and same thing. So I decide the first time, let's see, I think it was March. Yeah, for 1 month, I didn't call him. Guess how many times he called me? If you want to pause and put your guess in the messages, you can. Okay. So pause it right now. Okay, so if you have your guess now, he called me 0 times. Absolutely none. Nothing. And this is the time when I'm having my physical therapy and procedures and like the shots and the MRIs and so test after test after test, and then crying, like literally I'm in tears when doctor after doctor after doctor is saying you're normal, nothing's wrong, there's nothing, these are like, it's like maybe it is in your head, there's nothing wrong with you, and it's just like heartache after heartache, and my mental health was deteriorating because it's like I am in so much pain. I was in so much pain. I had to have major surgery. And to tell me there's nothing wrong, like this isn't making any sense. Everything I've gone, like I went through in life, and no. But he didn't want to call me. So I remember it was around April. I remember contacting or calling him. Oh, no, I didn't call him. I texted him. And he kind of replied or whatever, and I was like, is everything okay? Are you okay? And he was like, yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, what's going on? And I was just like, and I told him, no, never mind, I got my fix. Yeah, I got my fix of you. That, like, no, I'm good now. I know you're safe. I know you're okay. I know that you just don't care about me. That's why you haven't contacted me. And so then he starts texting me, no, call me now. Like, let me know what's going on. I didn't. And so then I decided I'm going to call, I will wait to call him. I'm going to wait to call him until he calls me. This is April 2nd. April 2nd. And I remember that day for a reason. But guess how long it took for him to contact me? Because he never called me. He has still never called. I don't know when's the last time I heard his voice, other than February of that year. Yeah, I think that was the last time I ever heard his voice. Because he, like, for some reason, the only people he would call was his mother and some woman in California who he's probably going to end up dating or be in a long-term relationship with. I don't know. Or like, because whenever he saw her number or whenever he had a chance to call her, he would jump, and go to a different room to talk to her. And they would laugh, and it was just like he he made sure I knew that he would choose her over me, and that he only wanted me because he could use me. That's the only reason. But put your guess down below. I'll pause in a couple seconds, but which month, so I started April 2nd of not calling him. When do you think he finally contacted me? I'll wait for you to put that in the messages. Well, I'll pause a few seconds, but if you're still in need of guessing, pause it or whatever, whatever. Yeah, you get it. So I'll count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you need more time, pause. But the next time I heard from him, he contacted me in any type of degree. It was only text message, but it was July. I think a little after July 4th. So, yeah, April 2nd, May, June, July. 4 months. 4 months. He has not heard from me, and he doesn't care. He's enjoying his life. He's enjoying the pandemic. He doesn't care. He doesn't care whatsoever. And the text message was frustrating. Do you know that CBS is probably going to be bringing back the Magic School Bus? That was the message. I will never forget. It was about the Magic School Bus. It wasn't, how are you? How are you feeling? It was so he could tell me about the Magic School Bus coming back. I was heated. And so, yeah, with the last part, I'm going to talk about the end because at this point, yeah, I was letting him know. It's like, no, we're over. But he didn't. He started gaslighting me. He started blaming me. He was blaming me for the breakup. So, but guess what? When you're an author, yeah, you get to tell all, you get to use names, you get to do so many amazing things. That's the power of petty and the awesome part of being creative. And I'm doing it all. This is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, you're human too. But, oh, this breakup. And he is the last long-term relationship. And after some of the guys I met after, men who made me feel like I was worthless because of my disability, men who would tell me to get myself fixed, then get back with them, or men who would tell me God wouldn't make a beautiful person a cripple. I have yeah. But then whenever I accomplish something, whenever I work hard on something, they tell me that's nothing. They tell me I only get things because of my race or whatever. But then the way I'm treated on a daily basis, I'm like, I not only have to have strong skin, but I have to be strong. And after all the trauma I have been through, I am phenomenally strong. And that strength got me through my college experiences. It got me through the awful job interviews and people like belittling me. It got me through the dating nightmares and men making me feel like I was inferior or I was not like a full human just because. And or parents telling their child, she's black, why are you dating her? Yeah. So, thanks for listening.